welcome to our daily learning in the book of Mishlei, Proverbs, written by King Solomon. The book of Proverbs has wisdom, insights for life, written by King Solomon. We are in Proverbs, Mishlei, chapter 27. And we mentioned yesterday the beautiful lesson of Kimayim Hapanim Lapanim. Just like the reflection of a face looks to yourself in the water, so too is a person's heart to another person's heart. We also saw the lesson of Ish Lefi Mahalalo, the lesson of if you want to know a person's essence, look what it is that other people are praising them for in terms of character. What are people saying? Wow, this is a phenomenal person, and that is the essence of who you are. There's another beautiful explanation with regard to Ish Lefi Mahalalo, which is if you want to know who a person is, if you want to know a person's character, see what they are praising. Ask them, what do you think is amazing? If the person praises something, you know that's their essence. And so another way to know a person is not just by how they are being praised by others, but also if you look at what they are praising, you will see that you will see who they truly are, just in terms of what they talk about, what they rave about, and that will tell you who they are. King Solomon continues, verse 22. He says, "Im tichtosh et ha'evil b'machtesh b'toch harifot ba'eli." If this is an unfortunate verse, if you take someone who's very stubborn and always going in the opposite direction of reason, and you grind them, they won't they won't let go of their belief. And there's a lot of discussion of that these days, right? If someone has a belief that is very wrong, can you really dissuade them? Is that possible? So in some cases it is possible, but King Solomon says there are cases where the thinking in the wrong direction is inextricable. Now, the next verse King Solomon mentions is about the idea of prosperity, looking after your assets, saving money, taking care of your business. And he speaks here to someone who might be a farmer, someone who might be a shepherd. Yadoa teda pnei tzonecha. You should be familiar with your flock, meaning if you have property, if you have a flock, be familiar with it. Make sure you're familiar with it. Shit libcha la'adarim, and pay attention to the sheep. It's common for people today to not know where their savings are, where their pension is. Don't do that. Make sure if you have assets, if you have property, make sure you tend it. Make sure you find out what's going on with it. Why? King Solomon continues, Ki lo l'olam chosen. The strength does not always stay. Ve'im nezer ledor vador. And if you have something that's a crown, it won't necessarily remain from one generation to the other. So always make sure you are looking out, make sure you know what's going on with your business, with your salary, with your savings, with your assets. Always make sure you know what's going on with. And King Solomon goes on, when you have a shepherd, the shepherd needs to figure out where to get the sheep grass, which mountains to go to, and where you can get the hay. So he says, Gala chatzir v'nira desha. Sometimes you will have the sort of like now when the spring comes, you have the dry hay removed, and then the grass shows. V'nesfu isvot ha'arim, and you will see suddenly the grass, but then the grass disappears. And if you indeed attend to your flock, if indeed you attend to your assets, to your property, you'll be in a good place. You will have wool for your clothing, and you will have sheep in your field. You will have plenty of milk from the goats for your home, and food for your children. So again, make sure that if you have assets, you look after them. The commentaries point out this is not only talking about sheep, it's not only talking about assets, it's also talking about the teachings a person has. If you take care of your teachings, if you take care of your scholarship, if you take care of your learning, then sorry, then it will spread on. Next is chapter 28. So we're in thank you to everyone who's joining us. We are in Mishlei, Proverbs chapter 28. So he says, King Solomon says in chapter 28, Nasu ve'en rodef rasha. The people who they know they're doing something wrong, they will run away even if no one's chasing them. Meaning, if someone knows they're doing something wrong, sometimes no one's chasing them, but they'll run away. But the righteous, if you know you are doing good, then you will dwell safely like a lion. If you know you're doing the right thing, if you know that you are in the right place and doing the right thing, then you have nothing to be afraid of. Now here comes a very unfortunate political commentary from King Solomon. Befesha eretz rabim sareah. Sometimes if a government is corrupt, then you have too many political appointments. Meaning, if someone is not ruling properly, they need more people to enforce it. They need more people to have the laws kept. And so often, befesha eretz, when there's a place that's not proper, then rabim sareah, then its rulers, its appointments are multiplied. Uve'adam mevin yodea ken yarich. And if someone is wise and knowledgeable, then people accept their argument by merit. Now, obviously, this doesn't mean you don't need government. Obviously, we do need government. You need police officers. You need members of city council, state, etc. But the better a society is, the less enforcement is needed. If someone is a judge that is not knowledgeable and a judge that is not just, that is similar to rain that comes down and nothing grows. Why? What's the similarity? Well, just like the rain comes, you would think it does the proper thing and the fruits and vegetables and crops grow. So too, if you have a judge, a police officer that's not doing the right thing, you have the right thing in the right place, but no results. Ozvei Torah yahalelu rasha. Those who abandon God's words are going to praise the wicked. V'shomrei Torah yitgaru bam. And those who observe the Torah will not mind taking on the wicked. Verse 5, Anshei ra lo yavinu mishpat u'mevakshei Hashem yavinu kol. People who are purposefully sinful will not be able to comprehend justice, and those who seek God will understand everything. Now we come to a beautiful verse. Tov ra sholech betumo. It is better to have someone who's impoverished and is walking in a path of innocence, of goodness, from someone who has a stubborn path and is wealthy. Verse 7, Notzer Torah ben mevin. Someone who preserves the Torah is a wise son. And someone who is a child that is always with those who are eating and drinking is going to bring shame to his father. Next is marbe ono beneshech uvetarbit. Someone who multiplies their wealth through interest loans in a way that is predatory and is hurting other people. Eventually, that money is going to be lost in favor of someone who takes care of the poor, someone who takes care of the poor. Next, verse 9, Mesiru ozno mishmoa Torah gam tfilato toeva. Someone who removes their ear from hearing the Torah, someone who decides they don't want to hear the words of the Torah, then their prayer is not acceptable. Mashgeh yesharim bederech ra. Someone who makes the righteous stumble, b'shchuto hu yipol. He will stumble in his own path, utmimim in chalutov, and the righteous are going to end up all good. I really would like to thank everyone for listening, for tuning in, especially those who are doing it live, but also those who are not doing it live. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Your feedback is always welcome and appreciated. Thank you so much. And